Hi, fifth grade. Welcome to another day of learning. My name is Emily Hall, and I teach fifth grade reading at William Fox Elementary School. All right, so today for this lesson, you are going to need a computer. So if you are already watching and listening to me, you already have that. You're going to need a pencil or something to write with. You'll need a piece of paper, and then you're going to need a positive attitude. I know we're all probably going a little crazy at home, but we have a great day of learning planned. So if you do not have those things, go ahead and pause the video and go grab those now. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So today's learning intentions, so what we're going to be working on by the end of this lesson, all three of these things will be true about you. So the first one is I can define the term theme. The second thing you'll be able to do is I can tell the theme of a video. And the last is I know the difference between theme and thematic topics. So those are our three learning goals of today. So before we get started with an activity, I'm going to go through and talk to you a little bit about what theme is. So if you look back here at my anchor chart, up at the top, it has our topic, so theme. So that's what we're working on all week. The definition of theme is the lesson, message, or moral the author wants you to learn. So if you see that at the top of my poster, I'm going to read you that definition one more time. Theme is the lesson, message, or moral the author wants you to learn. So if we're thinking about theme, another way we can think about it is that theme is the heart of the story. So when we think about theme or we think about theme topics, these are a couple of possible theme topics that are pretty common in stories. These aren't all of them, but it's a few that we notice most of the time in stories. So those can include courage, honesty, love, friendship, loyalty, hard work, equality, teamwork, compassion, or perseverance. Those are just a few topics that you might notice when we're talking about theme. Some questions you can think about when you're figuring out the theme is what did the character learn? How did the character grow or change? And what ideas stick with you? So we're going to be breaking all this down in a little bit, but I just wanted to start by talking about our key vocabulary and the important things you need to know. So I'm going to share my screen with you. All right. So we are going to go through a couple of things together. All right, so theme, that's what we are working on today. We'll be working through theme all week. So when I am in my normal classroom, this is not my normal classroom, but when I'm in my normal classroom with my fifth graders, I like to give them an agenda. So this is what we're going to be doing today, so you know what to anticipate. So the first thing, we already did this, we discussed our key vocabulary. The next thing we're going to do is learn how to identify theme. So what we're going to go through some step-by-step things that you can do to identify your theme. Then we're going to practice with a short video. And then the last thing is you're going to do a short exit ticket. All right, so I'm going to go through and talk to you about how we find the theme, and then we're going to practice together with a video. So your first step of finding the theme is you are going to summarize the common text. So you will be given some type of story. Later this week, I'll be reading you a couple of stories. You might do this with a video. You might do it with a longer text. But you need to know what happened in that story. So you are going to summarize the text on your own, so that way you can retell what happened in the story in your own words. After you've summarized it, you're going to ask yourself those three questions I talked about before. So what did the character learn? How did the characters change? And what ideas stick with you? So that's your first step. Your second step is going to be to think about thematic topics. So this is a list, it's the same ones that are up here, of different thematic topics. So you're going to think which of these topics relate to our story. You might have 3 or 4 or 5 topics written down. All right, and your third step is you're going to choose one of those topics and you're going to expand on it. So you can use the sentence starter, the author believes something. So maybe the author believes that equality is important, or the author believes that teamwork solves problems. And you're going to explain why the author believes that using text evidence. So those are our 3 steps to finding theme. So we're going to practice this. So you're going to be watching a video. It's called The Lighthouse. It's only 3 minutes long. So while you are watching it, I want you to pay attention to what's happening in it, because when you're done, you're going to write a summary and pay attention to things that help you think about the theme. All right, so you are going to watch through this video. All right, I'm going to pause this video for a second. So what I want you to think about is this lighthouse man right here. So I see he just slammed a window shut and he is grimacing and kind of grumbling. So that tells me that he's kind of grumpy. He might be upset because he's not included with the other towns members. But right now, if I had to describe the lighthouse man, I would say he's kind of grumpy. All right, so I'm going to pause my video for another second here. So I see that this lighthouse man, he has a very important job to do. He keeps the light on the top of the lighthouse so boats don't run into the rocky island. But he has a problem, right? So his problem is that the light has gone out and he can no longer do his job. So he has a problem. Let's see how he's able to solve it. All right. So let me go back to my slideshow. All right, so what I would like you to do on your piece of notebook paper, grab your piece of paper and I want you to set up your paper to look like this. So you are going to write the lighthouse at the top of your paper and draw a line underneath of it. So if you notice, that's how my paper is set up. And then you're going to divide your paper into 3 columns. It does not need to be perfect. We're just going to have 3 different sections on our paper. All right, so now that your paper is set up, this is what you're going to be doing. In that first column, I want you to write a short summary. So retell to me what happened in that video we just watched. So go ahead and pause this video and write down a short summary about what happened. All right, so my summary, mine might sound different than yours, and that's okay. This is just for us to remind ourselves as to what happened. My summary was, in a small village, there is a grumpy lighthouse keeper. One night, the lighthouse light goes out as a big ship approaches. The village people come together to help the lighthouse man create a new light. So that is my short summary. Your next job is going to be to think about the thematic topics. So these might be some of our topics. So I want you to see if you can choose 3 of these topics to write down underneath of thematic topics. If you have a different topic, you can write that down too. So you're going to write down 3 topics that relate back to our story. So go ahead and pause the video and do that now. All right, so the ones that I wrote down were be nice, even though that's not on my list. I know that there are more topics than just the ones on that list. Teamwork, kindness, judgment, and hard work. So I want you to make sure you have at least 3 topics written down. And now we're going to choose one topic. So the topic I chose that we're going to expand on is teamwork. So if you don't have teamwork written down, that is okay. Write it down now and circle that word teamwork. So now what we're going to do, we're going to come over to our 3rd column. Now we're going to write about the theme or write about that thematic topic. So we're going to expand on why we think teamwork is the theme. So I want you to start with this sentence starter. So the author believes, and tell me what the author believes about teamwork and how you know that. Go ahead and pause the video and try that now. All right, so what I wrote was the author believes problems can be solved through teamwork. We know this because the villagers work together to save the ship. So we noticed that in our video, the villagers come together to help the man light up the lighthouse so that way the ship doesn't run into the rocky island. So that would be my text evidence. All right, so the last thing you're going to do today on the bottom of your paper, I want you to draw a line underneath of those columns, and I want you to write down the definition of theme. So think back to what we talked about in the beginning of the video and see if you can write down the definition of theme. All right, so the definition you should have written down is the theme is the lesson, message, or moral of a story the author wants you to learn. Or you also could have written down that theme is the heart of the story. All right, so that is all we are doing together on the video. The last thing you're going to do today, you have some homework, so something I want you to do on your own before we meet again tomorrow. So you are going to log on to Flowcabulary. I will show you how to get there in a second. You are going to watch the video, Themes in Literature, and then there's a vocabulary game you're going to complete, and then a quiz you're going to complete. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to access that now. So what you are going to do on your screen, you would go to Clever. Let's see. And we're going to log in. You would log in as student. I'm logging in as teacher. My login information is already saved. And you're going to click on that orange F where it says vocabulary. And my computer is being a little slow today. All right, so then where it says, what do you want to teach? Or yours might say, what do you want to learn? You are going to type in theme. And then you're going to click on this first one that comes up. So it says theme in literature. We have to click on it so we can go to the lesson. All right, and so on here, you are going to watch the video. So this is a fun little wrap. So you're going to watch the video, and then you're going to do the vocab game. It looks like this. You kind of build a beat, and then there's a quiz that you're going to do that helps remind you of those terms that we've talked about today. So that is what you are going to do before we meet again tomorrow. All right, guys, so it is the end of our lesson, and so I hope we know how to do all these things. So I can define the term theme. So we talked about how theme is the lesson, message, or moral that an author wants you to know in a story. We can tell the theme of a video. We already did that while we watched our little video today. And then the last one is I know the difference between theme and thematic topics, and we talked about how these are all topics, but theme means we have to expand on it. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.